You are viewing the Getting Started with CratePro video 2 of 2, Understanding CratePro. When launching CratePro for the first time, you'll be taken through the setup wizard where you will enter a variety of data that CratePro needs to initialize itself for your unique environment. After entering those settings, you'll continue to this screen. When you restart CratePro, you'll be taken through this portion of the wizard again until you select otherwise from a later screen. This video covers the second part of the setup wizard, which will introduce you to the fundamentals of CratePro. Let's get started. CratePro has regular text menus that are not shown on this screen. But for faster navigation, we recommend that you use the icon toolbar just below the text menu at the top of the screen. The text menus aren't visible here, so we could reduce the size of the video. I'm going to pause now for a second and jump to the design file so that you can get a better example of this. Now here in the design file is a typical example of the screens, again minus the text menu, which would show up at the top of the screen here. To get started, there are two icons that you initially need to be aware of. They are the new Crate Design icon and the new Record icon. The new design icons appear in the design file and the jobs file and are used to create new design records. Anytime you're on a screen where you can create a new record or item other than a Crate design, the icon to the far left will be the one you use to create a new record or item. Let's take a look at the jobs file to get a better example of this. We'll go into jobs and we can see here in the jobs file this icon is used to create a new job, while this icon is used to create a new design. In this case, if we were to create a new design from the jobs file, it would be associated with the current job that we're viewing. If you look at most other software, you'll see that this blank page icon here is a standard. Keeping this basic information in mind makes getting started with CratePro much easier. CratePro isn't like any of our older design software. Underneath the screens you see, CratePro is a database. Some people would say that there are three different types of software that are used by most everyone in the business world: word processors, spreadsheets, and databases, although most people only think about word processors and spreadsheets. If you use a computerized accounting system such as QuickBooks or JD Edwards, you are already using a database. If you have ever used mail merge in a word processor or created a list in a spreadsheet, you've also used database type features there. A database is a collection of rows and columns containing similar information. Think of a list of customers. You may have many customers and they make up rows. And each customer has a name, address, phone number, etc. These make up columns. For a better idea, let's take a look at a design list. Here's a list of Crate designs. In this case, each row or record is a unique Crate design, and each column or field represents some type of data, such as the customer or the Crate style. In an actual database program, unlike when you make a word processor or spreadsheet work like a database, you can store and find massive amounts of data much faster, and there are much fewer limitations. You could actually store millions of customers and millions of Crate designs in CratePro and still find any of them in seconds or less. Being a database, there's a variety of ways to look up and view your data. At the top of most screens are options. In this case, we have Form View and View All, and if we go to a Form View, we can see an option for List View. At the bottom of some screens as well, there's another View All, and we have some navigation buttons that allow us to go to a previous record, a next record, or the last record. We have a Go To box where we could enter a particular job or design number and jump to that particular record by entering that number here. Since over time you may have thousands of designs in CratePro, you'll need to limit your list to just those designs you want to view. There's also a Find option in CratePro that allows you to enter a variety of different kind of data to limit the list of designs that you're looking at. Here, for example, let's enter Bob in the customer and hit continue. And we can see that our list is limited only to designs that have Bob in the customer name. In this case, they're all Bob's Pumps. This is a fast way of finding certain records that you want to find. The criteria in Find isn't limited to one field, nor is it limited to one find request. We won't get into the detail of find requests here, but CratePro has a very powerful find engine to allow you to drill down and get into the details of your data. Right now we're looking at what's called a found set. In this case, we have a found set of 5 records. There's a total of 7 records in the database, and currently we're viewing the first of 5. And we can tell that by this little black indicator right here to the left. Let's click View All, and now we're looking at all of our records, 7 of 7. Now we can filter these records by clicking on any of these fields that are blue underlined. This is a quick way of doing a find. First off, we can do the same thing we did in Find by clicking here on Bob's Pumps. Now we've just limited our list to only Bob's Pumps as a customer. We could further limit this list by selecting, as an example, a particular crate style. In this case, let's select the MPO001. This is a 26195A in the mil spec. We can click on it, and CratePro will ask us, do we want to do a new search, or do we want to narrow our search? Well, in this case, let's say we want to see everything that Bob's Pump did in an MPO001 style, so we'll narrow the search. And there we go. We've done 2 of these for Bob. Now, we could do the same thing with the status, with the design, with the job number, or again, for more broader options, we can use the Find feature. Let's do View All again, and if you notice, we have in the headers here, we have some blue links as well. That allows us to sort. Here we can sort based on the content in alphabetical order, by the date the design was created, by the name of the customer, or the job number. So you can see, having a database rather than something else such as a CAD program or a spreadsheet to design crates really puts a lot of power in your hands. It gives you management information that's not available anywhere else and allows you to look at your data in a variety of ways. What we're not going to look at here is a variety of the reporting options that you get in CratePro. You do have some options for viewing reports. There's a variety of reports available here. You can generate custom reports, and these are the reports that we're looking at that are only available in the design option, or design module. There are also reports available in the jobs module as well that allow you to report on a variety of jobs. Okay, I've just jumped back to the Startup Wizard in CratePro, and we'll go ahead and continue from here. Okay, and this is what we just talked about, the importance of understanding these 2 icons. Continue, we talked about this. We talked about the View All and the Form View and the List View. And then again, we've got some navigation features at the bottom, and we talked about the Find option. Now, let's take a look at some of the details of how CratePro works. Although CratePro conforms to most design standards in the US and other countries, it works very differently. In fact, many manufacturers will say they design their crates to specific standards, yet they'll also say there are little things they do differently, such as selecting materials that aren't exactly to spec or laying cleats in a little different pattern. It's CratePro's ability to handle those little differences that make it powerful and different than other crating programs that have come and gone over the years. To design crates that strictly conform to standards and be able to handle the many variances that industry needs, we had to rewrite the book on crate design. You can still create a design that's exactly to spec or any one of hundreds of custom styles if you want to, though. Now, you've heard me using the term crate almost exclusively, but occasionally I throw in the term wooden box. I won't be presenting the difference here between the two, but understand that in custom container design, there's no distinction between the two. CratePro will design wooden boxes and crates, but of the 250 plus styles it designs, Most of them are hybrids, and some don't clearly fit into either category. Since the term crate is shorter and is well known, I'll typically use the term crate. Now, let's see how it works. There are three components that go into a design: style, material group, and rules. In published standards, all of these are part of the style. CratePro allows you to mix and match them. In CratePro, the style pertains to the general construction methodology of the crate. Here, we're looking at a CratePro style LPO. This is an LPO 001, otherwise known as a PPP B601A or an ASTM D6251. One of the characteristics of this style is the interlocking corners, such as you see here. If you were to change the corner on a load to a load-bearing corner by extending this cleat all the way across the top, it would still look very much like a 601, but in CratePro, it's now a different style. Let's take a look at some of the style descriptions. Now, don't worry, I'll say it again. CratePro will design spec containers and includes everything you need to quickly and easily cross-reference the CratePro style names to the names used in other standards. Here's how the naming is broken down in CratePro. Every style starts with 3 letters. The first letter is an L, M, or H. L stands for light duty, M is medium duty, and H is heavy duty. This pertains to a general construction methodology. Now, you notice here it says generally under 1,000 pounds for plywood or 500 for lumber. I say that here in CratePro to cross-reference to the government standards because that's the way the government standards are written. In reality, in CratePro, this is only a construction methodology. It's not an actual weight limit. The second letter is a P, L, or M. That stands for plywood or panel board sheathing, lumber sheathing, or mixed sheathing. The third letter is an I, O, or N. It stands for inside framing, outside framing, or no framing. These 3 letters are followed by 3 numbers, and the 3 numbers are simply sequential numbers that allow us to have up to 1,000 different styles for each of the 3-letter combinations. The style numbering in CratePro has been set up to, as closely as possible, match that of the government standards. So if we go back here again, and we see that this is an LPO, which is the same as the 601. This is a 601A, and in CratePro it's an LPO 001. A 601B in CratePro is an LPO 002, and if you want to consider the old retired 601C, that is also in CratePro, and that's an LPO 003. Likewise, with 26195, a 26195A is an MPO 001, 26195B is an MPO 002. So the naming conventions in CratePro have been set up to match as well as possible the naming conventions of the government standards to allow you to find the names as quickly as possible. In addition to that, CratePro does include a number of options or a variety of tools to allow you to cross-reference the names quickly and easily. The second component that goes into a CratePro design is the material group. A good simple example of material group would include the use of 3/8" plywood and 1x4s. For economic reasons, many companies in the U.S. stock large supplies of these materials or something close to them, and a great majority of their boxes and crates may be constructed using these. When you create larger, heavier, or more awkward items, you may switch to, say, 1/2" plywood and 2x4s, just as an example. These would be examples of 2 different material groups. You can name material groups yourself, and depending on the style of crate you're designing, the material group may only contain a couple of types of materials, or there may be hundreds that change based on a variety of parameters. Keep in mind that CratePro comes fully populated with materials, and you can change the materials in the material group in the setup file yourself, as well as change individual materials after CratePro creates a design for you. The third component in a design is what we call rules. In CratePro, the style doesn't dictate the placement or existence of any intermediate cleating or batten. Many different manufacturers have their own policy to determine how and when intermediate cleats or battens are used. Again, I'll use a very basic example. On the right end panel here, there's a cleat that runs from the front to the aft of the box. Some people say that this is best for small boxes to avoid a frontal crush from a rough forklift operator. This happens during container loading. While others will say that end supports are always placed top to base, this way, similar to this main support cleat in the front. This provides better stacking strength. In CratePro, you can select the rules that allow cleats to be placed the way you want them. There are many different rules that apply to different crate styles. CratePro handles these for you, just like the materials. You can change the rules after CratePro creates a design for you, or you can move or change any intermediate cleats individually. After completing the installation of CratePro, you'll find that it already includes one crate design. After reviewing the instructions in the manual, you can build this one design to fine-tune the settings in CratePro. This concludes the 2 videos on setting up CratePro. Until you uncheck this box, CratePro will always restart this information wizard and take you here to select the program to use. This menu is exactly the same as what's available throughout the program, only here there are explanations of each menu option. Armed with this information, many highly experienced craters can navigate through the basic features of CratePro, but to get the most out of the program, I recommend you view the rest of the training set. The next video will cover the basics of the context file, including the advertising feature. We'll see you there.